Welcome to the debauchery. We have such sights to show you.
Here's Johnny!
All you have left is my desire for you.
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
What's up, all you horror movie loving fuckers? I'm Jay.
And I'm John.
Hey, and we're here to talk about horror movies and let you know if we'd rather fuck them, marry them, or kill them.
Yep.
We have come to the end of the all hail Fred fucking Vogel month.
Yes, sir.
We have covered all three. What movies have we covered, John?
That was the very first August Underground, just August Underground, released in 2001. Then we did August Underground's Mortem, the follow-up from 2003, and then wrapped it all up with August Underground's Penance that came out in 2007. And this is the final episode of us reviewing this trilogy, because for the first time in this channel's history, from back when I used to start, I was running it, then you've been running it for a year, we're finally doing an actual FMK, a Fuck, Marry, Kill with 3 films.
Yes, sir.
So that's what this episode's about. If you guys want to, if you haven't listened to the other ones, go check them out. They're up. But in this episode, we are finally going to, now, first off, we've agreed we're going to give an FMK rating to each movie individually. When we do the next set of trilogy, which we'll say that in a second, which one that's going to be. We are going to do an FMK rating per episode. We're going to change that from this time. So when you watch everyone about a single movie that's part of the trilogy, we will give you an FMK rating then, but that don't mean shit when it comes to the ending, because when this next trilogy coming up, Jay, I know I already feel like I'm going to kill all 3 of these movies. Do we want to go ahead? Let's go ahead and tell them, because we teased it last week. We've decided on it. This one, dude, I've been dreading it for a while. The Vomit Gore trilogy, courtesy of Lucifer Valentine. For anybody who knows about those movies, the name fucking says it all. Have you seen any of those?
None.
I haven't either. I've seen clips and shit like that from them.
Clips.
Very fucking aware of what's in them and not looking forward to it at all. And then, of course, there's always, if anyone knows much about the underground scene, the issues with Lucifer Valentine. Not going to get into that because I don't keep up with it. If it's allegations, it's proven, it's whatever. You separate art from the artist. If you want to call the Vomit Gore trilogy art, we shall see. But those will rate.
We talk about it on this show as fucking art. Damn it, we only the finest things here, people. The finest things.
There you go. Yeah, go hang a DVD of that up in the Louvre over there in France.
Right, the Fred fucking Vogel, baby.
Yeah, but for August Underground, since we didn't do one per episode, we're gonna do all 3 really quickly, roughly, and then we're gonna get into actually doing a Fuck, Marry, Kill for all 3 of them combined, man. And have you settled on all 3 of yours yet?
The combined one?
Yes.
The combined one I have struggled with. I have gone back and forth, even today, actually.
Yeah.
There was a point in my day where I got up and I had my coffee and I took my morning poop and I'm sitting there on the toilet. Hey, we're family here, people. We talk about everything. And
you gotta stay regular.
Yeah, you gotta stay, man. You gotta stay regular. And I'm on my phone and I'm kind of reading up on some of the stuff and remembering back the shit we talked about them and watching them. And even today, throughout the day, there was a couple that it was back and forth for me for. But, and so I knew we had to have it for the show. I knew, there's certain things there's some things you just don't like having to kill.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm not a fan of having to kill either 3 of these movies. And we'll go into that more in depth. So do you want to go ahead and let's get to the first FMK rating for the very first August Underground, called August Underground, released in 2001. What rating would you give this one and why? Is this a fuck or a marry or a kill for you?
For the first original August Underground, is going to be a marry for me.
Wow, okay.
Yes, because my reason behind it, because it was I look at the time it was made,
Yeah.
and that's what it was, something that was so different, something that was like in your face, like, fuck all your PG-13 bullshit that we're
Fuck
going
your
to,
R-rated bullshit.
yeah, even
In
some
comparison.
R-rated shit. We're going to give you up close and personal of how some shit really could go. And I feel
Yeah.
like in the time, 2001, holy shit, dude, it's crazy. You hear 2000 and you don't think that many years ago, because I'm
Yeah.
fucking old, and I turned 48 in August, people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and this, I mean, I don't know. It was released in 2001. I'm looking at it on Wiki, and they're saying the release date was January 1st. I mean, that could very well have been the official release date. It could just be up in the air. But yeah, this movie came out before 9/11 for all of
Yeah.
our American viewers and listeners. That's how, you know what I'm saying? This movie at some point this year is going to be 23 years old.
I was on wife number one at the time.
I was still in
Long
high
time ago.
school. I graduated high school in 03.
Holy shit, really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Damn it, Bobby, I'm old.
But yeah, so I mean, and I'm right there with you. This one is a Mary for me as well. And I will say it is on a level of enjoyment. That's a loose term that's really tough to use for these kinds of movies. Whatever aspect you enjoy about them, you like to see all the blood and guts, you like to see the mean stuff and things like that. I don't like seeing it. I like challenging myself viewing it. So everyone has their own way of entertainment. But this one, in my opinion, is the least entertaining of all three of these movies. But it came first. And doing this in '01 when there was not really a template in place for this. This has been hinted at before, but the way it was done was just, it broke a lot of ground, especially for extreme cinema. And you always have to give it props for that, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, and that was, and for me, I go back to when you first kind of got me into the more underground horror stuff. This was one of the ones that you'd kind of mentioned to me when I was like, give me more,
Yeah.
and it was one of the ones that you told me about and I watched. And just for me, I even thinking about it today, it was like 2001, man. It was like,
Yeah.
this was so, and here I am just really finding out or watching it like a couple years ago when you got me into it.
Yeah.
Over
Yeah.
20
I mean, I didn't watch it until, like I said, I think it was like 2010.
Yeah.
Maybe 2011. But our eldest cub, he was born in 2010, in November of 2010. And I remember, so yeah, we definitely got into it in 2010 because I remember Joe actually watched a Serbian film while pregnant with him, and it just completely fucked her up. And
Hey,
she was just like,
sister-in-law, if you listen to this, you're a fucking badass bitch. Just
no, 100%. But then like Cub does things, and I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with him? And then I think back to that, and I'm like, oh
Yep.
shit, yeah, we fucked him up. We got 3, luckily, so we've got some spares. But yeah, that's the thing is like anybody who's getting into underground or extreme cinema, underground horror, whatever you want to call it. This is always in that same like hallowed ground territory with like a Serbian film, some of your other ones, Martyrs, Audition usually comes up, your Cannibal Holocaust, all of these that when you first get in, you learn about those very quickly. You don't have to dig very much into extreme horror to find out about those.
Yep.
And one of the biggest reasons for that is August Underground. And I mean, everything that's basically simulated snuff from 2001, after this came out and beyond, you can see touches of August Underground in all of it. And, I'm not going to say August Underground did it first, but it's one of the oldest ones I'm aware of that did it that style. And certainly with the level of brutality and effectiveness with the practical effects. Usually when films were done like this, like in the 80s, it was because they had no budget. People still do it nowadays.
Yeah.
And you can tell they don't have a budget once you start seeing the effects.
Yep.
And this does not feel like a movie that was made for shit, man, like $500 to $1,000 because he did most of everything himself.
Yeah, this movie could have been dropped today.
Yeah.
And you would still get that same type of just some random sick fuck out there who's got some old camcorder he stole out of mama's basement and said, this is what I'm going to do. That shit to me was still it would still go today. Over 20 years later, if that bad boy had been released.
Yeah.
It would still just be that. And for me, that's why I got to marry it, man. It was just, for its time, I look at 2001, but like I said, drop it right. If Fred Vogel dropped it today, found footage wise type shit, it will still trump anything out there going. And for me,
yeah. Well, and I think also too, like, and we said this in the episode, this one is nowhere near as hardcore, certainly as Mortem or Penance.
Oh no,
when it comes to the fucked up stuff. But a lot of the stuff that you know, for 2 years before Mortem came out, this was considered insanely extreme for what most people had seen. And this is the only one that, like you had brought up about the random, the way the footage and everything is really random. This is the only one that really does that. That's where it stands out, because you start getting story with Mortem and very heavily in Penance.
Oh yeah.
But this is, like you just found literally a box of like those miniature like tapes, VHS tapes that you would camcord on, and you're just going through it. Yeah. And you're just getting random out of order dates in the life of a serial killer. Yep. And, and it does it very well. And a lot of the found footage ones that do that even now, that try to do this way of like a day in the life kind of thing, it's always kind of like a wink and a nod or a tongue in cheek to the fact that it's found footage. And like I said, I'm a big fan of found footage when it's done correctly. I find it very effective. And Fred does not drop the ball on all 3 of these. With every shot makes sense. You know who's holding the camera, you know where they are in the scene. There isn't some random other cameraman that pops up. And things like that. Even with more modern movies now, there's cameras and everything and doorbells and all that other shit. So when they do found footage, they're incorporating all of that with it as well. And there's just something special about this, clearly being shot like on a tape. And it's just completely fucking out of order. Yeah, man, I could ramble on about this one now that we finally get to sing its praises and not,
yeah. And for me, it's like, for this one, it really is that movie that I could take this, if I could take and put it on a VHS and just stick it somewhere and have somebody find it. They would watch it and would think 100%.
Yeah.
They're on the phone with the fucking FBI. Like, I have found something y'all need to see, and it's so just almost like thinking like ahead of his time. With Fred was at with it and the way it came across, and it was just art. It's fucking art, and it was.
It is. If you're part of extreme horror, this is a genre defining movie.
Yep.
Every genre has them. This is one of them. And again, we could both sit there and talk about it all night, but we eventually got to get to that.
Gotta move on, baby.
There we go. It's a double Mary for the first one from both of us. So now, Jay.
Mortem.
Let's talk about August Underground's Mortem. I'll give my rating first.
Yeah, I went first last time. You get this time.
This movie is a fuck for me. It was not a fun fuck. I don't think like
fuck.
It was not. Yeah, it was.
That's a take one for the team.
It was like jumping on a grenade kind of thing. Like you did it for the right reasons. So for that purpose, it means something. But like the act itself didn't mean shit. But the reason it is a fuck for me is because this one as well, and this is another thing that can be kind of tough. Is especially when they're part of a series where you have another 2 years later, from the same director, writer, the same team behind it. Technically, this is this is a trilogy, but the links between August Underground and Mortem are slim to none. Other than the fact that Fred Vogel's character is still there. But now we got new characters, and this other stuff, and we have some semblance of story. Again, we're not going to get into it too deep. Go check out our review of it, but this is another genre defining movie for extreme horror, but it's for the reasons that I dislike the most. The challenging, really well done, but really tough to watch shit. Mortem is still up there. I disliked and was as uncomfortable as I was watching it the first time. This time it felt like the scenes went on like way longer. So again, I'm curious, because back in the day when I watched it, it was a torrent file. Because like I said, this was back in like 2010 when all of them were already out. And so now seeing this one, I don't know if this is a director's cut, but man, the scenes felt long. The camera stays on everything. The effects are fantastic. Honestly, it's either a fuck that like I don't want to tell anybody I enjoyed, or I really 100% did not enjoy. And but I'm gonna let you talk more about it, because I have a feeling that when we do all three, I have a feeling this is the one you're gonna marry. But I could be wrong, and we'll wait and see. But I'll let you talk about it. But it's a fuck for me.
August Underground Mortem. We are marrying this bad boy. We are marrying it because different taste here. Like for you, certain things are challenging, and that's the beauty of horror. And that's why I enjoy talking about it, because so many people take certain things, what somebody else likes, somebody don't like, and I like it. But for me, it's another Mary. For me, the harder it can go, the more boundaries it will push, the more people that it will almost piss off.
Oh yeah, it'll evoke some anger, and this movie like can really piss you off. Like it really can.
And I enjoy it. Call me sick, fucked up, whatever you want to call me. I am all of the above, because as good as August Underground was, and the OG, I married it all, but I'm marrying this one because it one-upped it, because I'm the type that was like, okay, you gave me this. I want to see it stepped up. There's certain he stepped up, because if anybody's listening to any of these shows that I've ever talked about or I had guests on, there is nothing, people, that I've come across yet that I said, you went a little too far.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing because
very different.
Yes.
I had one of those in this movie. That's why I did not want to rewatch Mortem, and I disliked it as much. No, actually, I disliked it more because, spoiler alert, but you can check it in the other episode. It involves a kid. Now I got 3 kids, and I'm like, fuck, dude, like, fuck that scene. And honestly, like, that, again, if it wasn't for, again, how important it was, again, like, it can't be understated. Like, I know everyone, all right, let's be a little blasphemous here. Everyone talks about like the greatest trilogies of all time. The very first Star Wars trilogy is like what everyone always talks about. Some people are like that with the Lord of the Rings trilogy. When it comes to underground horror, extreme cinema, whatever, August Underground is that fucking trilogy. And you think about it, like when you think of like, with the original Star Wars, it was so mind bending to see that shit at the time. The very, A New Hope. But then Empire comes out and you got that big battle scene and all that other, it was just, as a movie going experience, it was crazy how much they stepped up their game. But you wouldn't have got Empire Strikes Back without A New Hope. You wouldn't have got Mortem without the original. And both of them, again, not trying to be hyperbolic with my comparison, but it is like that for horror.
Yep.
Both of these are insanely important to what has came after them in extreme horror.
Yep. And for a minute there, I thought I was going to get you to upgrade your shit to a Mary. That's right. I almost thought I had you.
No.
While you were talking about Star Wars, I was like, Is my
No,
little
no, no,
bro
no, 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 no.
about
Nope.
to upgrade to a fucking
No, no, it's no. I've given it all the praise I can, and it's seriously it too. I mean, again, this one came out in '03. This is 21 years
yeah,
ago,
exactly.
and it's still one of the more challenging. Just when it simply comes to the gore and the physical torture stuff, this is still one of the more challenging movies out there.
It is.
It has held a very high ranking in that regard for over 2 decades now. And if
And
you're at all interested in extreme cinema, it is a must see.
yep.
Even if you don't like that kind of shit, this will be one of your most challenging challenges. If you're fucked up like Jay, this will be one of your most pleasant viewing experiences of all time.
Yeah, come sit next to me. We will enjoy it. But hey, and it's crazy because it's funny because when I've done prior episodes and talk about certain movies, we've done some hardcore stuff, but I knew going into it that this trilogy is going to be the one of we did Serbian film, blah blah blah.
Mhm.
Serbian film to me is PG-13 in my opinion compared to like August Underground, and so I
it
knew,
is, yeah.
and so listen up, family.
We should do a video. We should do a video where we take like the top, like what everyone considers to be like the top 3 most extreme movies, like on a poll level, and just break them down about why people are right about how they feel that way and what's wrong with it. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Future episode idea.
Yeah. See, we making up shit as we go here, people. That's how we do it.
There we go. There we go.
But and I can tell because listen up, family. My handful of listeners that this shit show. I can tell people that some of y'all are all on board when it's kind of like the R-rated PG-13 type horror. And then you can tell there's a handful of you fucks out there that are like us that enjoy these types of movies. And could we get on here on this podcast and could we sit here and break down all the fucking Jason movies, the Freddy, all that type of shit? Yeah, we could. But hey, guess what?
There's already a lot of people that do that too.
Exactly.
There's a lot of people who do extreme cinema and less underground, but we like to do what we enjoy. There's nothing wrong with Friday the 13th and all that other stuff, but I don't know. I like to find those gems. And if you like it fucking rough, Mortem's a gem and a half.
Hey,
but
that's why I'm marrying that bad boy. So right now I am marrying it across the board so far.
Yep.
Now we're moving on to 2007.
To Penance, the
August
very last
Penance.
one.
Fred Vogel's Thank You to the Fans.
Yes.
Hey, people.
Yes.
Fred had no intentions for this being a trilogy from the get.
Yeah.
This was going to be August Underground, bam, and done. Fred gave us Penance at the end here as a like, you know what? Hey, man, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all sick fucks out there like me who love this type of shit. And so August Underground Penance, 2007, the end of the trilogy. Now, I've been talking. I want to let you go and take this one.
No. You got to give your rating first for a reason, and the reason will make sense once I give mine. But,
okay.
but I want you to go first on this one. And plus, I went first on the last one.
This is true.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Hold on one second, fam. This is gentlemen.
Oh.
Everybody, reach over, grab your drinks, people. Take a little sip. Take a little sip with me. Take a little sip. Take a little smoke. Whatever tickles your fancy. Here we have no rules here, people. Hey, I'm 3 for 3, baby.
You're gonna marry? Okay.
I'm marrying all 3 of them.
All right. Now, so why? As we've discussed, and anybody else knows, 3 very different movies.
Yes.
There's tons of differences and some themes that run across them, but very different movies. So, what about this one made you want to marry it?
Here's why I married it. I married the first one because the OG something different. I married Mortem because he upped the game.
Yeah.
Because he brought some kids into it. I like it when you fuck the kids. Now
it's fucked up. So
it is. But then in part 3, in Penance, what Fred gave me was the story.
Mm.
He started he peeled the onion back in Penance.
Right.
I got it in the original, it was just him and his camera guy. And then in Mortem, we got, Maggot and Krusty. But now here in Mortem, there's a story to it.
Yeah.
He made me, as much as I looked at Krusty in Mortem and thought this bitch is fucking crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then in Penance, he had me feeling sympathy for fucking Krusty. Like,
he really did.
This old girl. Like, I felt bad for her. As much bad shit as she has done. Here I am, like, there's movies where you say all the time, we talk about them, where it's like when movies give you a time to kind of get to know the character, and you kind of know what you grow an attachment to some, and some characters you hate them.
Yeah.
I feel like in August Underground, it wasn't that, because it was just him as cameraman.
Yeah, you couldn't. There was nothing to really get to know about anyone. It completely felt right, which again led to the realness of it. We again go watch that other episode if you guys are curious where we break that down. But yeah, you weren't getting to know anybody.
No,
you snuck into their life for however long that took place, and then that was it.
And with Mortem, you got Maggot and Krusty, just two fucking psychos, just on a tear. And going into Penance, that's what I expected. I expected psycho Krusty.
Yeah.
And it didn't. Yeah, she had her moments. But then got to know her. And you're just like, holy shit, this old girl's got some fucking issues, man.
Yeah.
And he upped the game even more. Because I'm a big fan of Fuck Them Kids. And we had that in there.
Yeah, that was there's this one was not as rough of a scene. Still a very bad scene, but not as rough in my opinion as the Mortem scene at all.
But see, I thought this one went up. Well, yeah, I guess so. And because
it depends on what you take. Because the psychological part of what went down in Penance, for somebody that could be way more than what happened in Mortem. Yeah, for sure.
In Penance, because like I said, we talked about the episode, you kind of know what went down, but when you find out about Krusty and you got this newborn baby that Peter takes out this lady, and it's in that moment you just take it as holy shit, that's fucked up. Well, then he gives you a little more at the end of the movie, and you're just like, and so for me that was that. As much as I fucking thought Krusty was loony as fuck.
Yeah.
It comes a part where you're feeling for this girl, man. And you catch feelings for characters in the movie that originally was just psychos, man. Just out fucking
and did some fucked up shit in this one too.
Yeah, definitely. Don't get me. Krusty wasn't no fucking saint.
No.
No,
that whole Christmas scene.
Oh yeah,
the most fucked up part of it is still again and that's the same thing as what it was in Mortem.
Yep.
Every time there's a really fucked up scene involved in Mortem, she's a part of it.
Oh yeah,
she may not be the one doing it. The big mamma jamma scene in the bathtub, she's directly involved. She's the one filming it. She's sitting there talking to Maggot while it's going on. And in this one, she's still fucked up. But then those moments where you're like, holy fuck, this is a person.
And it's crazy because I don't know if we touched on it when we did the episode on Penance, but as you're watching Penance, you're seeing everything going down like the Christmas scene. And once again, what we said about August Underground, these clips have no timeline.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder, would the Christmas scene have even went down if we knew what we knew in the ending? And that's the beauty.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm marrying all three of them, baby.
Going straight sister wives on all three of these things, man.
Three of them, baby. Two's better than one.
Get ready. Those Latter-day Saints going to be knocking on your door and say, we heard recently that you're interested in our religion. And you're like, no. But you said I'm going to marry all three, and now you're in the algorithm.
Hey, I can have my own TLC channel based.
Some building in Salt Lake, a little alarm went off because you said those words, and Google just sent it off to them, and they're just all bustling around with their white button-ups and black ties and bicycles.
If I get a dude outside my door tomorrow with a bicycle, I know what the fuck happened. What about you?
I'm gonna rate mine, and with my rating, this is going to, because my rating for this movie as a standalone movie is the same rating that I'm going to give this movie as for the trilogy. So this is my rating for Penance as a movie by itself, and as the trilogy, it is a Mary for me. Absolutely. No, Penance, out of all three of these movies, Penance is the only one that, after having viewed them again, that I'm probably going to rewatch Penance again as an enjoyment, because if you think about it, and there really is a thing where if things are done as trilogies, the third movie usually always has a lot riding on it, and it usually fails to deliver. Yes. The second one, everybody's in their groove. I mean, think of it more recently, like the Dark Knight trilogy. You know, everyone loved Batman Begins. Everyone loved the Dark Knight. Dark Knight Rises, I absolutely love that movie, but there's plenty of people out there who are like, yeah, but it's the worst out of all three of them. It's tough to, it's tough to top something once you've topped something, to then have to create the next step up on the ladder for yourself. There's no one else to chase. You now have to invent the next step. When it comes to trilogies, August Underground was the framework. It was the foundation. Mortem was Fred proving to everybody that they had seen nothing yet when it came to the practical effects talent that he had, and the brutality that a movie that's going to use that talent would look like. And all the same time experimenting with a little more character work, adding very small instances of background and character history, very slightly hinted at. Still, the forefront is the kills and the gore and showcasing the effects. Penance was Fred being smart, in my opinion, where a lot of people who deal with trilogies are not smart. At some point, you have to realize, I kind of created the top of the mountain. I'm going to make my house here look better. I'm not going to try to make more mountain to climb. I'm going to put my position even firmer in the spot where it's at. And that's what he does here, because this is still a very mean fucking film.
Oh yeah.
That Christmas scene, and this one may be one of the more triggering for a lot, and I hate using that word but it does have legit applicability when it comes to shit like this. This could be the most triggering of all three, because we're dealing with miscarriage, a relationship breaking down, tons of mental and sexual abuse stuff, clearly very present. All of this stuff, while there are still some insanely fucked up scenes going on in this movie. That is tough to juggle in general, but I think Fred had to have looked at Mortem and been like, I don't know what else I can do outside of this, apart from like really killing someone. Like, what else? It's the same problem like the Saw films have. Their shit involves traps. They can get as creative as they want to, but there's been plenty of them where you look at it and you're like, what the fuck? Who would ever think of a trap? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like the machine that cooked Pee Wee Herman's breakfast, where it was like Mousetrap, where like a shoe kicked a ball, it rolled down a ramp and did all that bullshit. But this man, Penance, dude, there is some insanely good, because the other thing too is that he doesn't beat you over the head with the shit that's clearly going on. The trauma these people are working through. Again, we talked about how fucked up Krusty was in Mortem, and then in Penance, she's literally getting her penance. She's sick because of the miscarriage. We still don't really, maybe she's, in a bad way. Who knows? She's not going to go to a hospital and shit like that. I mean, look at what they do, So she's sick, but Fred's character, Peter, was far more timid and took the back seat really in Mortem to Maggot and Krusty. In this one, he's went full blown like psychopath over the top. He's progressed to what kind of Krusty was in Mortem, and now Krusty's beyond that, and everything that she's done, all of her sins have caught up with her now. And dude, I don't know, man, like, and you know me, like, I'm just a big film fan. I have a ton of movies, and they're not all horror. Like, I'm a big film nerd and stuff like that. And I think that Penance it really doesn't make you need to rewatch the first one, because again, the first one is just there. Nothing really carries over, particularly the Penance. It's you don't even really have to watch fucking Mortem to watch Penance, though.
No,
because the characters are so different. I think it brings more out to the path of their journey if you watch both.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't recommend skipping it, but I'm gonna stop blabbing, man, because I could literally talk. It was crazy how much more I knew the movie was fucked up after watching it the first time, and I remember that, a few fucked up scenes. I don't remember enjoying it, and this time I actually really enjoyed Penance. Like, I'm a fan of it as a movie. I will rewatch Penance again, like, of my own accord, and I think that it's a great way of showing that there are extreme horror movies that are like this, that are not simply just about the blood and gore. Fred proves you can mix in some insane brutal violence, some great gore effects that'll make most people scream or squeam, and characters and story and plot. And dude, he makes it look fucking easy with Penance.
Yeah.
So as I will marry Penance by itself, and it is my favorite, my Mary of the entire trilogy as well.
Yep. And that's what that last point you made was definitely on point. And 100% I feel the same way about that. The Penance movie was just fuck it. I'm about to keep talking about it. We're gonna move on to the
Well, it has it all.
It does.
It really does. You could sit. I mean, granted, someone who watches normal horror movies and mainstream stuff. Again, I'm not. I watch them too. But if that's all they watch, they may not be prepared for Penance. But if they've dabbled with some extreme horror, I know there's a lot of stuff that Joe doesn't like to watch with me, because she still would like there to be some reason for shit to be going on, and a lot of the very extreme movies don't, or it's nonsense.
That's what Penance did, though.
Yeah.
Penance made you, and like we talked about on the episode when we talked about Penance, it gives us a peek behind the curtain. There's parts in it where you pick out, and you're in your mind, you're going, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, like maybe some shit that went on even in the original, even in Mortem, you see and hear certain things, and you're just like, oh, fuck, I wonder, like, like from the simple shit of him being like upset over the mess and Penance when we talked about it on the episode.
Yeah.
The mess in the basement. He's yelling at dude, look at the mess you made. And instantly you're like, there's a part of you as fucked up as Peter is.
Yeah.
You sit there and go, there's a reason why he's this way.
Yeah.
Maybe this dude has some fucking piece of shit mom or dad that was this way toward him, and I'm not sitting here trying to give
no, it's the same way with real serial killers.
Exactly.
All of us have been, probably, I would say at least over 90% of us have had shit happen to us that's happened to people who went and became serial killers. You still choose what you decide to do with all of the tragedy you've suffered. So it's not that, but when you, again, if you research, if you research serial killers and shit, but yeah, you see this with Peter and with Krusty, and you're like, oh, that makes sense. Oh yeah, like Krusty, you could clearly tell was tons of sexual abuse in her history.
Oh yeah,
Fred clearly had either a mother or a father or a step parent or both that were very dominating of him, which is why he lets Krusty dominate him in Mortem.
In Mortem, yes.
Yep, like she's fucking her brother, and he knows, and she's definitely in charge of. She runs the show in Mortem. Oh, without a doubt, and that's not the case in Penance. Now Peter is 100% clearly calling the shots and kind of running things his way, again, we don't know how long this has been going on. Maybe it's only been going on since Krusty got pregnant and then the miscarriage and not feeling well. Who knows? But like for what you see of this movie, like, yeah, Peter, he has stepped up. He is now in charge. And it's like he's getting a taste of that being the dominant person and is fucking loving it. So we've done all the movies. It's all marry for you.
Yes.
For all three movies. I would marry the first and the third. I grudge fuck Mortem.
No,
But so what? Yeah, as a trilogy, which one is your Mary?
Penance is my Mary.
Fair
Penance
enough.
is my Mary. For
Okay.
all the reasons we just talked about.
Gotcha. Okay.
It gave me it all. We had some feelings. We had fuck them kids.
Yeah.
Penance checked all my boxes, baby.
Again, it really does. I mean, I mean, honestly, this would have probably, if this was like stylized different and the gore obviously cut back to a tremendous amount where this was like a theatrical R rating, but like all of the stuff involving like the character in this would easily be a very profitable, tens of millions at a box office horror movie easily that you could easily shoot for $1 million or $2 million. If you just didn't go to the extremes, but everything else was still done the same. I feel like a lot of the roadblocks for most horror fans, if it was removed, but everything with the characters was left the same, people would be talking a lot about this movie.
Oh yeah.
The character work and stuff is good, not just for extreme horror, for horror. As any horror movies, this is top tier.
The thing with Penance, let's just say some person sit down, had never watched August Underground, never watched Mortem.
Yeah.
Pop in the Unearthed film, Blu-ray DVD, and start watching Penance. Take away the opening scene where he's fucking up the guy, but then you get this couple. They're just out and about, sightseeing, and right out of the gate, you're getting this like you would think this is just some two normal a couple enjoying their sightseeing, doing their things. But because
you may think they're going to get kidnapped and killed.
Yeah, you would think they're the nice couple.
They could be if you hadn't seen that opening scene and know what they were about or any of the other ones, they could be the victims.
Yeah,
the way that it is portrayed, very normal
in some little local town, and they're going to get snatched up, and they're the ones going to get fucked up because you just get that feel for them. You're just like. And for the ones who watched the August Underground and Mortem, you already know. But for somebody who had no clue, you could pop Penance in a movie of its own. Take away the first two. And this little couple just out on the sightseeing thing, and you're thinking, oh, they're going to get fucked up.
Yeah. I honestly.
Yeah.
Especially if you kind of like knew it was like, oh, it's kind of like a found footage, rough film or something like that. Yeah. If you have no idea, I mean, it's, again, dude, like it was very tough. I wanted to like just keep praising it in that episode. Yeah. But I was like, I gotta have something for it so that maybe people. But that's why I said then I knew what my Mary was.
Yeah.
Because after having rewatched all three of them, I still never want to watch Mortem again. I won't say I won't because who knows. But I will never freely watch Mortem unless there's for a reason to watch it, like for something. Or with someone, never going to watch it again by choice. Same with the first, just because, it's been done and everything. Penance, I honestly am excited to watch Penance again. Actually, this time sitting down wanting to watch it while I watch it instead of last time not wanting to watch it, but then at the end being like, oh man, that was so much better than I remembered. But sorry, so we both marrying the same one. So you've got three wives and you're sharing one of them with your brother. Again, so one of us is getting our door knocked. You'd be like, hey man, did you get the Mormons or the FBI? And I'll be like, I don't know. Were yours wearing sunglasses?
They're all dressed the same. I don't know.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, was yours wearing a coat? You're like, yeah, coat. Yeah, that's FBI. No.
Did he have a bicycle?
Yeah. Like it was crazy. He had a bicycle, but it was strapped to the back of his GMC. So I don't know. I don't know at this point. Maybe he's both. Are there Mormon FBI agents?
So which one are you fucking?
Well, I went first on technically on this one.
Oh,
So you got to give your fuck first.
okay.
What do you fuck? You get yeah.
My fuck for this one is going to be the OG August Underground. That's my fuck.
Wow. So I mean, now that you said that, we can go ahead and spill it. You and me have the exact same fuck, marry, kill.
Yep, we're both.
So Mortem is your kill.
It's going to be my kill, and
it has to be. Again, I don't like it, but I don't want it to not exist because there's a lot of people who really fucking like that movie.
Yeah, and
if you're a gore hound, I get it.
And I'm having to kill this, Fred, because this is how we do this show.
Yeah.
We got to fuck one, we got to marry one, and I got to kill one. So I had, and for me, the reason I had to, I'm fucking the original August. As much as I enjoy Mortem because he took me to that next level of showing me just how fucked up he could go with the kids and all that stuff. But for me, I have to go back to that feeling of the original, of just being what it started, what it made, what it showed could be done with so little, you know, and that's for me, it's the OG one, man. It was just that, God, it was just so, and yes, he went hard. Damn it, I hate fucking having to kill one. Damn it.
Because like I said, again, like, that's what I was struggling with was between them because to me, it's tough because to me, for what these films are, because again, the original and Mortem are meant to be basically just brutal fests. They're supposed to be gore fests. They're supposed to be there's a little bit of some plotting going on there, but I mean, it's just supposed to show you how ugly it really is when serial killers do this kind of shit. That was its focus. So to me, Mortem does it better. It is. It's bigger and better and all that stuff. But Mortem is definitely the least inventive out of the three because August Underground is completely something brand new and refreshing compared to what came before it. Penance, with incorporating all of the elements of like what is now considered, you know, extreme horror 101 with that kind of character shit. That's something really new. Mortem is literally him taking the very first movie and cranking it to 11.
Yes.
And again, and that's not bad. Like for a lot of people, Mortem is going to be their Mary in this, especially if they're the gore hounds and that's all they're about. But yeah, man, it's tough. Like it's the same thing. Like you said, man, I cannot kill the original. To me, that's simply sacrilege because without that one, I wouldn't have got Penance, which is a very extreme horror movie that is rare for me because it's a lot of them. I own them and I've seen them. I don't rewatch them. I'm not like you. You'll rewatch them, you know, and that's fine. These are like my trophies for shit I've conquered, and I love being able to physically own them. It's very rare for ones that you get listed as like the top most disturbing and fucked up stuff that I would rewatch them solely for enjoyment. I will do that for Penance. And that is saying a lot. But yeah, man, so I was in the same boat, dude. I really was. I didn't want to have to say it because I knew that like it's my least favorite, but for because everything he tried to do in that movie worked on me. That's why it's my least favorite. So how could you fault the movie? It had a job to make me uncomfortable, to gross me out, to make me feel fucked up, and it did it tremendously well, which is why I don't like it, but I can't hate it because that's what I signed up for.
Yeah, and for me, like, and that was my back and forth this whole time
was the kill and the fuck
in the fuck.
Yeah,
because Penance to me was just, we've talked about it. It was just chef's kiss. Checked all the boxes. But for me, it was the back and forth because for me, I love that he went harder in Mortem. I love that he showed us, okay, you thought August Underground was hard. I want to show you what I can do. And he did. He 100% accomplished that. And I like it for that fact. Love it for that fucking fact. I married on his own. But because here, people, we do this show on a fuck, marry, kill. And and that was the back and forth, man, because Mortem gave me that in your face, hardcore. We're going to push the boundary and show you what I can do.
Yeah.
Damn it. I cannot kill the original.
Yeah.
You said the perfect point. We would not have Mortem and Penance without the August Underground. And that's why I had to fuck August Underground and kill Mortem in my sad voice.
Yeah, because even for a second there, I was even debating, like, should I marry Penance or marry the OG? And just because, like, hey, this is my, but then I quickly pushed that aside because I was like, nope, because that is the progress of what has happened to Fred as a filmmaker at that time. And it's always, as a filmmaker, I'm sure, like, he's always at least got to look back at those movies. Again, they're 2 decades plus old now. He's got to look back and be like, man, I wish I'd done this different or whatever. But there's no way he can watch all 3 of those and not see how much he grew as a filmmaker, as an actor, as writer, for however much dialogue and writing there was in these things, and whatever else he was responsible for. And dude, so there it is. So for both of us now, Jay was a sister, 3 triple wives, marry all 3 of them individually.
TLC.
Yes. Call him TLC.
Call me up, TLC.
He's married to more horror movies than anybody else. And Guinness, call him as well.
But we are across the board the same.
Yeah. I was a fuck for Mortem, because again, I do not like it because it did exactly to me what it tries to do to people, and it's effective. But yeah, man. So Penance is the marry for both of us.
Yep.
The original is the fuck for both of us, and Mortem is the kill for both of us. Let us know down in the comments how y'all would rate them, though, because I would be interested to see. Because, like I said, every one of them make a good case to be married. Again, like if you Mortem, again, with the extreme levels of violence that it did and showed, for it to have happened in 2003, that is groundbreaking and genre defining as well for extreme horror. So to me, you can't pick a bad one to marry. But whichever one you pick to marry, it's going to make the fuck and the kill that much more difficult to decide, which is always a fun thing.
And let's go and get one thing handled right now, people. The handful of the few, the proud that's out there that get down with this show. This is a safe space. You can come here. I know some of you out there, look, you have seen these movies, and there's a part of you thinking that you were wrong because you may have liked them.
Yeah.
Don't tell people
we've all felt like that from time to time. Don't get it wrong.
Sure. You probably had moments thinking like, man, I should not have liked this movie. I feel bad about it. But this show right here, people, Fright Flick FMK, this is a safe space. You can come in here and you can let us know, because I am the first one to be the most fucked up. Like, there is nothing a horror movie, underground, whatever, can throw at me that I'm going to say they went too far.
And you proudly say that constantly.
I am.
So at least everyone can look at you and be like, "Hey, man, I'm not that fucked up." Like,
let me be the one that takes all.
Yes.
Point the finger at me like that.
Yes.
I may be fucked up, but he fucked up. Hey, this is a safe space. You can come in here and tell us.
Yeah.
Hey, I will fuck, marry, kill whichever one.
Yeah.
Don't be ashamed of watching some fucked up shit and a part of you enjoying it. It's okay. It's a fucking, at the end of the day, people, it's a fucking movie.
Yep, exactly.
At the end, this is Fred Vogel's art. This is what he put out there. It's a movie.
Yeah. Don't like it, don't watch it. That's all you gotta do. It's that simple. But I don't like romantic comedies, so I'm not going on everyone who reviews romantic comedies fucking pages and being like, Hallmark sucks. Like, I'm not, you know.
You know, hey, and I get it. This isn't everybody's, these types of movies are not everybody's cup of tea. I get it. But for you handful of sick fucks out there like me, we're here for you.
Yeah.
Come on over here to the dark side, baby. Welcome.
It's okay to like these movies.
It is.
It's completely fine, because the thing is that if you watch interviews or stuff like that, with these people. These are regular ass
Yeah.
moms and dads who act in these movies, who make these movies, write them, film them, all that other stuff. It's just adults having fun, pushing boundaries, which is, you know, it is what it is. But
And I will say this: if like the Blu-ray versions me and John have, the Unearthed films,
yes,
the bonus features, we've talked about them on the prior episodes. The bonus features almost make the movie. Mine's over here on my stack. I don't have them next to me.
yeah, I don't know how nudes or anything, so I just kind of waved them around. But yeah,
Hey,
you can still get these on Amazon and Unearthed Films website.
yeah. And so much bonus footage that Fred and them has put into these things. And what I will say is watching the bonus footage, because a lot of people hear about these movies, hearsay. That's what they hear. They hear shit and they automatically write it off. And I tell everybody all the time, give it a chance. You know, you may
watch everything.
Yeah, I tell people to watch it. There's nothing that I will sit on this show and say, do not go and watch it. Go watch it. But like the bonus footage shit, you get to hear Fred talk about it. It's like John said, normal dude.
Yeah.
He's writing movies, no different than some dude who writes, you know, fucking Aquaman or whatever else. It's a fucking movie. And
this is just what he wants to write about and shoot and watch. And
and
no, like
there's people out there like me that craves that type of just hardcore push me to the limits. And Fred has checked all the boxes, and this has been a fucking blast for me, bro, to sit here and talk about these August Underground movies. And and damn it, Fred, I hate that I had to kill one, but this is the way the fucking goes.
Yep, that's the way it is. And like I said, you know, this one is one of those, and I can't say that'll be the case for all of them, but this one, if anyone says they'd marry either three of these, I would completely understand why. It was a lot of fun revisiting them. Again, it's been roughly a decade. No, it's been more than that. Shit, man. Because we watched all three of these before Cub was born. He turns 14 this year, dude. Yeah. How's that make you fucking feel?
We're fucking getting there, dude.
Yeah, bro, for real. Like,
it was bad enough you had to tell me the year you graduated. And then the fact that we both got kids that are fucking like turned 14 this year. You know, Dave turns 14 this year. Yeah. Cub turns 14.
Yeah, dude. So I haven't watched these in almost a decade and a half. And I'll never say never again. Like, well, I feel like I'm going to never say never and mean it when it comes to that fucking Vomit Gore trilogy. I hate fucking puke. I despise puke. And the other thing I fucking don't like in a lot of these movies, I don't like it in real life either, but it's fucking rape. And I know that this thing has a bunch of fucking puke and it's got a bunch of fucked up sex stuff in it and things like that. So then I know I got a big thing for the Soska sisters. You know who they are? So they did American Mary. What was it? The Rabid remake that they did. There's another but it's these twin sisters from Canada. I find them actually they're in American Mary. You remember that movie, right?
Yep.
The twins that wanted to swap arms.
Yep.
That's the writer and director of that movie. That's the Soska sisters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I got a huge like Jones for them, and they're in one of these movies. And I've seen the scene that they're a part of, and I wish I hadn't.
Is it sexual?
No.
Damn it.
They're like conjoined at the fucking head, and there's a procedure to get, dude, I'm telling you, I don't want to spoil it, but if you haven't watched like scenes and shit, get fucking ready, dude. This is like literally if someone just threw you into a red room on the dark web and gave you a lot of acid right beforehand. Like, this is it's fucking weird, fucked up stuff. Lucifer Valentine, again, separating the art from the artist here on this one. It definitely was a unique filmmaker.
I'm excited for this one because I know where your things that kind of
this is like watching three Mortems.
Yeah. And
I don't want to do it.
But for me, because God, man, I don't know why I messed up in the head, but I'm looking forward to it. Like the harder we can go, the more I like I don't know. I just
So again, it's the same. Like, don't get me wrong, I can't wait to finally be able to say I've watched them.
yeah.
Because this is another one of those. You got to be, if we're doing it iceberg style, this is another tier or so down from the heavy hitters. But a lot of people have at least heard of the first movie, Slaughtered Vomit Dolls.
Yeah.
But it's not, there's 3 of them, the Vomit Gore trilogy. So a lot of people have at least heard those names and maybe not seen them. And you can, if you're on the right Reddit threads and shit like that, or certain websites, you can see them. You can see scenes from them. It's fucked up. But yeah, dude,
that's the next one in the shoot, people. The next trilogy.
And now be warned, this will not be next week.
No.
We're going to take a break so that we're not just doing stuff like this. So Jay's going to do a few episodes with some other people. Do you have anybody picked out or anything picked out yet?
I got a couple. I've reached out to a good friend from Canada, Dylan. He's wanting to do, what's that one we just, Evil Lurks?
When Evil Lurks.
Yeah, didn't you just recently get that one?
Actually, it happens to be right behind me as well.
Look,
this is a Shudder original.
Oh.
And I will say this, since I know I won't have to do it for the show in the future, since you and Dylan are going to. This is a massive fucking Mary for me. So I can't wait to hear what y'all say. But love this movie. Anybody, before that episode comes out and you have Shudder, this is an absolute must watch, at least before they do their episode, to see how you feel about it, because this had some shit in it that I was not expecting it to crank to that fucking level. Dude, I was not expecting some of this shit. I was completely blind. The trailer looked cool. It had been in my, my list for a little while, and just haven't. And then, dude, this was one of the few movies that I can remember where I actually had a jaw drop moment. And me and Joe had it together sitting on the couch, unplanned, where we both went like,
yeah,
and looked at each other, dude. And you know what it is. I won't spoil it. But everybody, if you guys get ready for them to do that show, man, you have to. It's on Shudder, and then you can get the Blu-ray. I think I ordered it off of Amazon, but
that's going to be one of the upcoming episodes, because like I said, once again, John works, John's got family, kids, so we have to kind of get our schedules. But whenever we decide to kick off the Vomit Doll trilogy, we will give you a heads up. But between now and then, there's still going to be a weekly episode. I'm going to also reached out to Jamie, who's done other episodes with me before. I've reached out to her about possibly doing another upcoming episode. So
is she the one you did Terrified with?
Yes.
She's from Australia. Is that her?
No. Lucy's from Australia.
Is that who you did Terrified with, though?
I think I did Terrified with Jamie, the one from Arizona.
I remember that episode recently because I recently finally watched that movie.
Yeah, because Lucy did House of Wax. That was the last one we did. Terrified, I believe, was Jamie, from the one friend of mine from Arizona.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's another great one on Shudder.
And so I've reached out to her about possibly if she wants to do another episode. So for next week's episode, people, I have no clue what's coming.
Well, they've known what's been coming for the past 4 weeks, man. Now it's time to get back into the regular rhythm until we do another one of these. Because hopefully the next time I'm on here, I'll be able to talk about a project that I'm in the throes of getting started. I haven't really talked about it with you much either, but I'm hoping to get all of that launched before the next time of doing this. So fingers crossed. But knowing me, we'll do the next trilogy before I get this shit going.
Hey. New shit happening all the time, people. We got it. We spoiled you a little bit. You've had to plan week to week. Now, come next week, people. I don't know. Just be on the lookout, whatever pops. Yeah. So, but I will say this on the Patreon. I do bonus episodes. The next episode coming up for the Patreon only people. This only airs on the Patreon. It will not go to the public. Yep. The next one I'm going to do for the Patreon is going to be called The Elderly. That's the next movie that I've watched that I'm going to put up on the Patreon probably within the next week or so. But The Elderly. So
where'd you watch that one at?
I wanted to say I seen it on Tubi.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was Tubi. Not
Gotcha.
100%, either Tubi or Amazon. I can't remember, but the
Hmm.
elderly. So that's one thing. Another thing that's going to be coming to the Patreon. I haven't even mentioned this to you.
Ooh,
Yeah.
breaking news.
No, it's not really going to be horror related.
Okay.
100%. It's just going to be on the Patreon of just there's just sometimes shit goes down and you just want to talk about it. You just want to kind of just throw some shit out there that kind of just maybe for that week or whatever, something just kind of I don't know. It could be anything from me complaining about my fucking neighbor's kids making all kind of racket outside. It could be fucking some little dumb fuck that cuts you off at the. It's just gonna be a random. It may only be 20 or 30 minutes of me just getting on here bitching about and talking shit about some fucker I seen out in public that I didn't like.
Now you're gonna record those. Are you gonna record those, or are you gonna do like live chat with people?
It depends because our Patreon's kind of small right now.
Yeah,
It's kind of small. We only got like 7 or 8 people in there. It's not huge, you know.
yeah,
So I would have no problem doing it live because I would love to have a little back and forth with somebody to be like, am I
yeah.
the only one that feels these types of weight when I'm out in public? When I
They'll
see
get on there and be like, I've never seen Jay. I don't know where he lives, but fuck those neighborhood kids too. Like,
yeah, exactly. That type of shit, so that's going to probably be, once a month or so. It won't be movie related. It could just be me just talking shit because, sometimes people annoy me and I've learned by talking to a therapist that it's better to put that shit out there,
there you go. There
I
you
don't
go.
keep
And
all
what's better? What's better than a horror YouTube channel? Those are the kind of people you could talk to.
exactly. That's what we're here for,
Yeah.
off limits here, people. Nothing.
No.
There's no feelings that I care about hurting out there. I hate everybody equally. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. But
No, man, but I've had a lot of fun doing
yeah,
this.
man.
I can't wait to do it again. So
Yep.
yeah, everybody, we hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure that you're liking, sharing, commenting, all subscribing as well. And yeah, Vomit Gore Trilogy will be up next. Like I said, only a few weeks. We'll me and Jay will get it all worked out in the background and stuff. But it's going to keep happening. But yeah, we'll get to that one. I'm sure he won't let me put it off too long because
Oh no, because I'm looking forward to it. I cannot wait to just
oh my
the
god,
level
dude.
of seeing that look right there. That look on your face right there is what I'm
We
looking
should
for.
we should figure out how to do that with like the Discord group so they can like watch us like a watch along so they can just watch how many times I'm like not looking at the
Hey,
screen because I can't.
hey, I have no problem, dude. If we want to pull straight YouTube live,
Well, YouTube, you probably get a copyright thing for that shit though.
would we?
Certainly you would get hit with some sort of like an indecency thing, man. Like that fucking thing, that shit's hardcore. I don't know if there's a setting in YouTube that allows you to live stream slaughtered vomit dolls.
No. I ain't talking about watching it, the movie. I'm talking about
Oh,
going live when we do a show on it and just talking about it.
I mean, maybe
that way.
I'm down for that. It's whatever. I
Yeah.
mean, we don't chop and edit any of our shit
No,
anyway.
it basically be the same thing, people.
Yeah,
What y'all get on YouTube?
you just wouldn't have to wait till Friday to get it.
Yeah. Only thing I do is chop off the beginning and chop off the end. And yeah, we don't edit nothing here. So basically,
we could do a live sometime where we could just, or maybe that'll be like a Patreon thing. Like you and me will do like, maybe we'll do like a special episode because like the Vomit Gore trilogy is a trilogy, but there's one or two other movies that branch off of it. There's I know there's the one that's like some kind of black wizard of sex or some shit. It's weird, but it's like
say no more.
yeah. Jay's like, I like black wizards. I'm not going to go any further than that, but it's my choice. But it's got something to do with it. I'm not quite sure. So maybe since those aren't technically part of the trilogy, maybe we'll do something special with a little side piece of Lucifer Valentine for the Patreons or something like that, or the Discord. But
Hey,
yeah, dude, I had a lot of fun doing this. I can't wait to do it again. And it's been awesome recording with you again. And yeah, so we will see every one of y'all soon for sure.
yes,
and
sir.
I'll let you do your thing to,
Hey, once again, family, I appreciate y'all, the ones who hang out with us, the few, the proud. You know, I appreciate y'all.
The few, the proud, the fuckheads.
We're the fuckheads. And so, like I said, once again, our month long, all hail Fred Vogel. You've got our ratings on it. Go back and listen to the episodes. Check out the movies. Fred Vogel, you fucking rock. Stay tuned. More to follow. Don't know what's coming next. But hey, go check us out on all the social media, Fright Flick FMK. I think that's going to do it for this episode, bro. I appreciate you coming on here. I love doing this with you. I enjoyed doing this. And great minds think alike, man. We knocked this one out of the park. Same way across the park overall.
Yes, sir.
But that's going to do it for this episode, people. This is that part of the show we all reach over and we grab our drinks. I need you to reach over and grab your shit, put your chairs away, and get the fuck out of here.